Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to the newcomers. Okay, let's see. What does my collective need to know? With the Strength card, the Two of Swords, let me shut this laptop down. Two of Swords, and the Chariot card, someone is strongly trying to block your forward movement. Then we've got the Star card. Someone, something, whoever this may be, whoever these people may be, they are strongly trying to block your forward movement. With the Star card, they don't want you to be seen as a star. Okay? They don't want you to be seen as a star. Investing, Six of Wands. They don't want you to be investing in yourself, your own success. They don't want to see you in control of your own life. Jealous of your strength. Jealous of how admired you are. Okay. Empress. You could be an empress. Always working with the fruits of your labour. Always reproducing new ideas, new things. New crops are growing, like you are sowing the seed and they're trying to block that. Eight of Swords, yeah. Eight of Swords. They could be doing some sort of binding spells, okay? Some sort of binding spells. See the way the swords are on the dress. Female figure has eyes covered also. Trying to create either a physical entrapment or a mental entrapment. Trying to create a physical entrapment or a mental entrapment. Trying to cage you in. Okay, this could be linking to an ex also. Then we have Hermit Virgo. Someone could be jealous of your spiritual knowledge, your wisdom. Could be some sort of throat chakra blockages. Female figure. Here has hand. Could be also doing throat chakra blockages. Somebody who wants to take control. Someone who seeks ownership. Somebody who wants to take control. Somebody who wants to seek ownership. Someone feels like they own you. Four of Pentacles. Someone who's very mean, or some people who are very mean. They could be withholding some sort of inheritance, okay? The fruits of your labour. They could be withholding them. Queen of Wands. They also want to possess your beauty. They want to possess your beauty, your skills. So could be also doing beauty magic. Then we have Queen of Swords. They don't like how truthful you are, how you pierce through these illusions, how you stand with your sword of truth. Someone who wants to possess your energy, your skills, your talents, your gifts, the balance you bring into people's worlds, the harmony. Three of Cups. Friends could be celebrating, trying to bring an ending to this feminine. We've got generational wealth here and death. Okay. very mean, possessive, a lot of spying, robbery, theft. They've been romanticising and fantasising, okay? And these friends with the 9 of Wands, they've all been defending each other because there's a lot of money, what seems to be involved. They've all been defending each other. 9 of Swords, they're very guilty. They are guilty. We've also got Hierophant. This could be a corrupt judge. This could be a corrupt leader. This could be someone from a corrupt Catholic church who's persistently going up against an archangel. Persistently battling against an archangel, spying on an archangel and wanting to know. We've got 4 of Wands. Wanting to know who this feminine's twin flame is, or future husband is, so they can create some sort of a tower. So this masculine seems to walk away. We've got enemies. Because of these enemies, okay, trying to stop a passionately beginning. They've been working on trying to kick feminine, this Empress, via sacrifice out of her own destiny. So it's something to do with wanting to take this Empress's everything. This Empress's absolute everything, okay? Full life. Take control of full life. Manipulation, sacrificing, okay? So they've been working to sacrifice, defending each other, stealing, robbing. They're also, with any masculine who seems to be coming towards this Empress, they want to get there first, okay? With an offering, with another female. To get them caught up in a karmic cycle. So they are trying to look out to see who Empress's divine masculine is, so they can go and they can recruit 3 of Wands. And quite possibly with a hangman, try and sacrifice. Try and sacrifice this Empress's divine masculine to cover up this robbery, to cover up this theft. Could be some theft of generational wealth, what they're trying to keep for themselves, okay? Always spying. Wow. Could be an Aquarius involved in spying. Acting like an absolute fool. Trying to make out like they are financially stable. Okay. So there's an Aquarius who is after this Empress's divine masculine. She wants to make out like she's financially stable, but it's through robbery, it's through theft, okay, it's through dodgy dealings, because she is also after this Empress's destiny, okay, and sun child, and prosperity. Wow. Wow. Could be doing this to a chosen one, because they don't feel like they've been chosen by the Most High. So they're trying to put a lot of work in behind the scenes to block, stop, create towers, okay? Create some sort of trauma, sacrifice. Empress. 5 of Cups. So she loses her love offer. We've got the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. So she loses her love offer. So they're doing anything they can. Sacrificing Empress quite possibly could even got involved in snatching kiddies, taking hold of generational wealth, trying to leave Empress with nothing. But Empress keeps building herself up and keeps creating more. They will all be sad if this Empress gets this love offer, this Ace of Cups, the Lover's card, and the Ace of Pentacles. They will be crying. They will be crying. Five of Cups. They will cry their eyeballs out. They will literally projectile vomit. They will projectile vomit. Wow. If they find that this Empress has a new love. Because they want to take control of this Empress's full world. Wow. They really want to take control of this Empress's full world. Quite possibly Empress's business, Empress's line of study. Look, we've got the Death card. They've been trying to take Empress's work. We have a Capricorn, Virgo or Taurus, heavy on the Capricorn energy, who's heartbroken, surrounding a new beginning. He was in a state of lack, okay? He's going to prison, along with this third party, along with these friends who teamed up. He's going to prison. Persistently trying to go and report to maybe a head, a judge, who's guilty. Also, yeah. Who's also guilty of trying to take Empress's recognition for themselves. Yeah, so this judge, this corrupt judge with a Knight of Swords, he has also been on the attack and has committed, with a Magician card, tampering evidence, okay, also committed to whipping up spells. Eight of Cups committed to these enemies, committed to bringing conflicts. A corrupt judge is also involved in wanting to take Empress's full world, keeping Empress in isolation, because they don't want Empress in this Ten of Cups energy and this Ten of Pentacles energy. They're creating so many illusions because they are trying to attack or traumatise an Archangel to stop and block a union, a marriage. 1313. They want Empress to be in poverty, so they're doing some sort of poverty spells. They are doing some sort of poverty spells, okay? Trying to take absolutely everything off Empress, and then what they are trying to do with this Divine Masculine, whoever comes towards Empress, they are trying to send somebody who they think is a better candidate, but they have gained everything through robbing off this Empress and other people. King of Wands, Ten of Swords, a warlock who's been doing some sort of death hexes and trying to block Empress from using her own strength and power. So trying to block Empress, a warlock who's been doing death hexes, who's also defending these cranks, who's also trying to look on in to what this Empress is now doing. Is she financially stable? Is she independent? Because they're trying to make out like this Empress is not dependent. She's very codependent. But they're very codependent on each other, and robbery, stealing other people's financial stability and claiming that as their own. They're involved in taking other people's destiny. Even the youth with the fool. They sacrifice youth's destiny. They're involved in child sacrifice. With the Fool card, the Hanged Man and the Sun card, they're involved in child sacrifice. That's what they're passionate about. They collaborate and they sacrifice children. They will even send children to spy. They will even send children in to spy on their behalf, to help them with the robbery, to help them with the theft. Justice and judgment. Justice and judgment. So they are under severe judgment, okay, by the divine for what they have done. Severe judgment. Love lock spells with the Three of Swords. In order to gain control, block the heart chakra. That is what they've done. Whilst they are under judgment, these people are practically dead on the inside from all the death spells what they've been doing. They're practically dead on the inside from all the death spells they've been doing. No way. They're all dead on the inside. So they want everyone else to be just as dead as them on the inside. I'm getting dead behind the eyes. The dead behind the eyes. Also with this judgment card, they're linking to a lot of deaths. See all the skulls there? They're linking to a lot of deaths. Some of these people who's been getting involved in this could have actually recently got wed or attended a wedding, 1717. Could have recently attended a wedding. Page of Wands. Ten of Swords. High Priestess. Page of Cups. They attack High Priestesses also because of the messages they deliver. Page of Cups, even boys, girls who have been born with gifts. They create a lot of stress. Eight of Swords, and they also create mental entrapments and keep them in some sort of cage. Five of Cups. Could be linking to snatching kids, empresses, child children. Eight of Wands. This could be hitting the news. This could be hitting the news. Some people are dreaming about investing in a love relationship with this Empress and offering their cup of love. They're committed with the Magician card, Eight of Cups, to try manifesting off this Empress's energy and then compete against this Empress and work with the Devil. 1919. They are trying to manifest off this Empress's energy. So this is why they want to keep this Empress on her own isolation spells so they can use her to manifest off. This is a church leader and also a corrupt judge who has experienced some sort of heart attack or heartbreak surrounding destiny of the full world, seeing them for who they actually are. They've been exposed. These corrupt people have been exposed for who they actually are. They're heartbroken. Some people could actually be having some sort of a heart attack because they are being exposed to the full world for who they actually are. They don't want the world to see them for who they are. They want the world to be bowing down to them. They want the world to be looking up to them. The moon card. These warlocks, okay, they want to keep it a secret how much of a backstabber they actually are. How spiritually poor they actually are. Four of Swords. These enemies are going to get laid to rest. These enemies are all going to get laid to rest. That's the truth. Oh, these enemies are going to get laid to rest. They've been trying to study how to create illusions and end this Empress, quite possibly children, Capricorn, Devil energy, Six of Wands, wanting to take Empress's recognition for himself. Because he wanted some sort of love offer. He wanted some sort of love offer. He wanted some, like a love offer for himself, but he's really sick. He's very sick. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. They're competing against an oh God. Competing against an earth angel who is stronger. Guilty. Could be going through a tower moment because, well, they could be under investigation for some sort of bank fraud. Them and their partners. Okay. Could be under investigation. Okay. Surrounding some sort of stolen wealth. Corrupt judge, corrupt church, okay, corrupt leaders. Inheritance fraud. Theft, Fraud Act, 2006. Forged documents to gain control. Abuse of power. Unjust advantage of individuals, organisation or governments. So corrupt government organisations. They're out of people to cover their back. They've got undercover investigators surrounding them. They're worried about being caught for their evil acts and evil deeds. What they've been doing for years. Deliberately been tormenting this Empress for speaking out. And others. Trying to wrongfully imprison this Empress for speaking out and trying to defend herself. We've got grey collar crimes, identity theft, hacking, unauthorised access to digital systems or data. And then on top of that, we've got attempted murder. Wow. Voodoo, hoodoo, root work. Gang stalking and gang affiliations, gang ties. Okay. Freemason Brotherhood, Blood Earths, Luciferians. They'd be paying hush-hush money to gangs, cults, covens, because they have ties to satanic cults, covens, satanic sacrifice, devil worship. Getting Empress took down a gang, cult or a coven. They hate this Empress because she outranks them spiritually. Outranks them spiritually. So they are creating fake videos, pictures, using AI to get Empress caught up in a crime she's not committed. They've also forced power of attorney, making decisions on Empress's behalf to claim money. Okay. They've gone to the church, to nuns, sisters, brotherhood, monks, to try and cover the backs. Okay. They've gone to see a clergy, a priest, a bishop, cardinals, preachers, pastors, popes, and ministers to cover up this identity theft, fraudulent practice of using another's name and personal information in order to obtain Empress's credit. And then they're trying to deflect. So deflection, blaming someone else for their problems, painting themselves as a victim. So they're playing victim, okay? They're trying to make out like Empress has victimised them. I don't know. Extortion, obtaining something, money through force or threats. A lot. Empress could be running rings round these karmics, these corrupt judges, lawyers and solicitors. There's an overwhelming amount of evidence being gathered. So we've got embezzlement, theft of funds placed in one's care, trust or belongings. A type of financial fraud where someone takes money or assets that were entrusted to them and uses them for a different purpose than what intended. So it all got used, okay? They've been going to these false prophets and fake readers. Wow. Some of these people could have claimed to be a reader, but at these Catholic churches, they are false prophets. The devil worshippers. Okay? So every single devil worshipper in these cults, these covens, these groups, these gangs, in all areas, they've been pulling strings everywhere. Character assassination, malicious and justified harming of a person's good reputation. And they've been terrorising this Empress and quite possibly child children because they're trying to stop a case going to trial because, well, they'll be locked up for life, let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. They will be locked up for life. Let's get a few more. Romantic love. This is what they're trying to block. A romantic connection. Maybe it's a miracle this Empress is still alive. Through all these attacks, through all this character assassination, through all this sacrificing, through all this robbery, through all this theft. They was all laughing. They was all laughing, creating malicious lies and rumours. They was laughing while they was sacrificing Empress and child children. They was laughing. They've done this time and time again. We've got water. They could be trying to bury something in a body of water. Okay? They could be also working with water deities. With a sun card that's been illuminated. They are jealous that this Empress is a master and they are very inexperienced. Okay? Very inexperienced. So they created an alliance to stop these new beginnings. Got salvation, being saved. Compassion. They could have done this to an empath and they've been doing death hexes, death and magic. Even people linking to these churches. But Empress, with this Isis card, has gone for a rebirth. Empress has a lot of divine wisdom, divine knowledge, divine protection. The future, okay, they're going to have to accept that they are going to prison, okay? They're going to have to accept that they are going to prison. There's no way they are getting away with what they have done. There is no way, okay? This death magic is going back. Being getting sent to Empress's home because they see the potential. They're trying to block Empress's communication with spirit, with children, okay? With other people because of these isolation spells. Empress is healing. Maybe children are healing. Focus from these attacks. Because it's been a large amount of attacks, especially from this church, who make out like they are devoted to Jesus, yet they are attacking Empress's crown chakra and trying to take Empress's crown for themselves. So I'm getting Empresses in between worlds. In between worlds. Both the physical and the spiritual, the higher vibrational. And they've created so much illusions. They could have took a lot of wisdom. Or could have took a lot of knowledge. But they've not got the wisdom. They've took a lot of knowledge, quite possibly straight up copy and pasted. They've took everything. So Empress is always having to adjust and adapt. Always having to adjust and adapt. Adjustment and adapt to different environments. Constantly. A lot of upheaval. But I am getting that they have said that this Empress is very codependent. But she's very independent. Wow. Wow. She's a master. Ancestors, the Most High, is laughing at them. They're going to be asking for forgiveness on the stand. They're going to be asking for forgiveness. There's going to be a stillness in the courtroom. There's going to be a stillness in the courtroom while these secrets are being revealed. There's going to be a stillness. There's going to be a stillness. There's going to be like silence while they're begging for compassion. This alliance, this group who's done this to a nurturer to try and block and stop a transformation. Could be linking to a secret society. Obviously, with Freemasons, Luciferians, they don't have like divine wisdom. They don't have divine protection. 3322. So they also want Empress's beauty. They want to do beauty magic also. They've been doing beauty spells. Ooh. It seems like it's going to be a big trial. This is going to be a big trial that they're trying to stop from being broadcasted around the world because, well, they're going to be revealed for who they actually are. So an ex-lover, they was in some sort of poverty. They are spiritually poor, but this ex-lover who got involved wanted to be a wealthy man. He was expecting to get away with taking this great fortune along with a group of people who formed an alliance, and they thought that with this pathway it had never come to light. It's very concerning surrounding this fact, okay, because they've also tried to do an insurance job. Quite possibly they could be... They could have already claimed Empress to be gone and done an insurance job and faked death and then paid people, even with this message, overseas. Something to do with overseas. Something to do with overseas and paid people off. Maybe they're trying to pay people off in other countries also. Hush hush money. 3535. Somebody could have made out that they was caught in or dating Empress. Wanted to get married to Empress. But that was only to help try and get Eminem. Eminem could be significant. Eminem could be someone's favourite rapper. Try and get feminine to work against feminine. They are also going to prison. They are also going to journey towards a proper judge who is going to lock them up and give everything back to this Empress. Yeah? And a community of people are really concerned because they don't want to see Empress have her own home. Okay? They want to carry on with this theft, them, their lovers, their partners, because they was trying to derail and change somebody's full destiny, someone's full life, fabricating evidence, because they wanted to be privileged, linking to family also. They wanted to be privileged. They're going to be crying. Oh, they're going to be crying. Got child and mature woman, even a younger sibling involved. She's going to be crying her eyeballs out in the dock, she is. She's going to be crying her eyeballs out in the dock, along with this older female. She's been giving gifts out to people in the local community, hush hush, either drugs, money, okay? She's been giving gifts out. That's going to get pulled up at court, okay? They're going to go into poverty, especially this ex. They're all going to go to prison, even the one who tried to court and date feminine, because they wanted to get in on some sort of privileges and steal from feminine even more when Empress was trying to build herself up again. He even probably got involved in stealing Empress's clothes and any more materialistic things, because they want to, it's like a Cinderella story as well. Like snatching the necklaces off Cinderella's neck and snatching all the clothes off Cinderella, because they want everything of this Empress's, okay? And they've been all canoodling with each other. They have, but they're spiritually poor, and they're going to go back into poverty. Any law enforcement, they're going to get shut down. In the courthouse, whoever's been lying, they're going to lose their jobs. Any solicitors, law firms, yeah, who they're linking to, they're all getting shut down. For losing their job, they're getting locked up also. They're all getting bought out for fabricating evidence. They're all going to get bought out. This occupation for fabricating evidence and lying on earth to help this feminine and this other feminine, because they was receiving like a gift of money, acting all fraudulent, even though they're masculine, acting all high on it in the courtroom and paying money to label Empress as mentally ill, to try and change the way she's looked, and also to try and change the way her children view her. create despair amongst the children because her mother's occupation has brought in this great fortune, enough money for a home, enough money to provide for her family, for her children, for herself and her child children, and they want to take the lot. So even people who they've all been caught in or dating, who's been getting involved in taking money, turning a blind eye, they're all off to prison too. Wow. 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 Then what they've tried to do is just try to scapegoat this empress. Scapegoat anyone. Performing satanic rituals, Baphomet rituals, conjuring demons and devils, okay? Trying to create entity attachments on anybody they can. They've been paying people to create malicious lies and rumours. Wow. They've been paying people to create malicious lies and rumours. We've got dark practitioner, dark energy worker. So much. Wow, even throat chakra. Linking to secret society, secret clubs and organisations, underground. Wow. So yeah, grand larceny and terrorising. Empress and child children into being quiet. Some are linking to dangerous driving also. Oh yeah. It's overwhelming evidence. It's all going to be a unanimous decision. So many people involved. So many people involved hates this empress because she outranks them all spiritually. They're hating on her full world, her full life, yet they want her full world, her full life, her spiritual ranking, her child children, her destiny. Oh. And then somebody wants to be empress's handler. They can't even handle themselves. They can't even handle themselves. This empress is not here to be handled. She's not here to be controlled. Let me just get that straight. She can control herself. She can provide for herself and her children, but they try to take everything. Six of Swords and the Tower card and the Emperor, the Two of Cups. We've got an older masculine, quite possibly a father figure, who's been putting money in offshore overseas account, linking to grandchildren, Six of Cups, maybe using grandchildren's identities, okay, putting money in offshore overseas accounts with the Tower. And using his lover's account also. And grandchildren's accounts. Two of Pentacles. They've been transferring it to all these different accounts. Six of Cups. To grandchildren's accounts, but it's not for the grandchildren. Four of Pentacles. They're keeping it to themselves. Could have helped force power of attorney, but they're keeping it to themselves. So a father figure is involved in forcing power of attorney over own daughter and grandchildren and taking everything, robbing. Taking power and control, power of attorney. Persistently going to like a corrupt judge or a corrupt church leader with this heartbreaking evidence of him being guilty, Could be a Cancer, Vega, Taurus, Capricorn. We've got Leo energy. That's it, Aries. But they've been given a corrupt church leader some gifts. Which could be money. To cover their backs. To turn a blind eye. To help cover this up. Because there is an element in this where they want to use their grounds to bury. Bury could be significant. To bury all the people coming against them. Two of Swords. They don't want other people to see what they are doing. So they're trying to block this communication, try and block these type of messages from getting out there. Because they don't want people to know that they lack compassion, lack empathy, they lack remorse. Because they are not very remorseful. It's like a dream come true to them with the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups. This is a dream come true to them. To take everything of this Empress and make a deal with the devil with the blood contracts. To take this Empress's success for themselves. Several different things and several different attempted murders. Several different times they took everything off Empress and left her with nothing. Several different times. Now they're playing happy family, these enemies. See how happy they're going to be, like how all they are going to be in prison with all this burdening evidence. Farmer could be significant. They could have collaborated with the farmer, who's also just as much as a fool as them for getting involved in sacrificing. Because they wanted a new beginning and they wanted to be seen as some sort of a messenger. False prophets. False prophets. Wow. This Chariot, this could be the police officers with the Chariot coming on in. Maybe they're being watched. Again, it's come through. They're being watched by undercovers. This is why it's going to hit the news, worldwide news. This is why it's going to hit worldwide news. What they've been doing to this Empress, her child, and many others. And many, many others. They've been doing this to many, many others. Many, many others. Wow. 48, 48. The bank accounts are getting shut down. They're going to go to bank one day, these pals, and then their bank is going to be inactive. They're not going to be able to access these banks. They're not going to be able to celebrate for much longer because they were celebrating on the back of all this stolen money. So these offshore overseas accounts also are getting shut down. This is why it's going to hit the news. They're very manipulating. Very manipulating lovers. this granddad or father figure, very manipulating lovers. They backstab anyone. They hex anyone's got the lovers, anyone else's love relationship. Because they don't want anyone else to be happy, so they're always competing, even against the friends. Like with this group, 8 of Cups, they're competing against the friends to take everything off their own friends. The ones who's team up with them to take everything off their friends as well, who's been helping them cover this up. Literally, they're even trying to take everything off the friends who's been helping them cover it up. Because it's gone to the head. They want to claim that they're very strong and powerful. Because they have somebody who works in the prison. Yeah. They have people who work at 8 of Pentacles. I knew it. They have someone who works within a prison. Who acts like he's king of the bloody jungle. He does. Wow, yeah, he roams round this pal, this brother, this uncle, this cousin, or whoever, who works within a prison with the 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords and the Strength card. He acts like he's the king of the bloody jungle. But he's also been watched. He's also going to get found guilty. He's going to be so angry because he's been getting studied and watched. That's the truth. For what he's done to this Empress, who's been speaking the truth with the Queen of Swords, who's very powerful, got a lot of divine knowledge, divine wisdom, divine protection, could be a high priestess also. This 10 of Pentacles is coming back. They're going to be crying. Their secrets is going to be revealed and how foolish they are. How foolish they are. They was all doing it because they wanted financial stability off the back of an earth angel, quite possibly a messenger. Could be bringing justice, could be helping bringing justice. They wanted to invest, they wanted to take control because they was investing with this King of Cups who wanted to bring heartbreak to this Empress's life because of this Empress's gifts. So they wanted to break Empress's heart. It was just such a dream because they're lacking. They're so evil. It was a dream to break this Empress's heart. They could die of a heart attack now as a repercussion. They're going to die of a heart attack. Some of these people are going to die of a heart attack. For deliberately trying to break this Empress's and the Empress's children's heart. They're going to die of a heart attack. It's going to be a really bad heart attack. A really bad heart attack. They're going to die of a really bad heart attack. Some of these, you know, who's got involved in this, a real bad heart attack. They've also been doing, like, love block spells. Page of Swords, the Devil card, and the Death card. They've been trying to delay themselves from dying, okay? Because they know the Devil is going to collect. And Archangel Michael is going to bring justice. They're trying to delay. Because they want to continue a battle. What? Very passionate about continuing a battle with Empress. Trying to delay court proceedings. It came out. Because the devil is here to collect them. And this corrupt judge, this corrupt church leader, the devil, is ready to collect. They're under judgment. Somebody who works at a farm, the devil is ready to collect them. So they could be doing some dodgy things, but the devil's ready to collect that Four of Swords. There's so much death surrounding these people, it's unbelievable. 5, 5, 5, 5. I don't think they're going to end up getting a grave or a headstone. They're not going to get graves or headstones, is what I'm getting. They're not going to get graves or headstones. Wow. For all their evil acts and deeds. Now, why should they, to be honest? Because obviously, with these dark witches and dark warlocks, they go to graveyards and they wake up passed on people who have done some evil, sinister acts and evil, sinister deeds. And they bring them up. They work with them. So maybe the Most High is trying to stop these really mean demons. These really mean demons. Four of Pentacles can speak about possession. Who are under judgment. The demons are under judgment. These demonic lovers, they're under judgment. The demons are under judgment. We've got like an angel in the background, like Gabriel, calling judgment. On the demons, on these demonic lovers, on these snakes. There's snakes here. Because they chose to serve the devil and the demons. No I said the spirit of death is surrounding them. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. They're not going to be able to see each other in prison either. So any marriages, any love relationships, they're not going to really get to see each other in prison. So that's going to dwindle. That's going to dwindle. It's all going to die. It's all going to die. For what they've done. Because it was in this Empress's sole purpose to stand up against all these, maybe several different cults, covens. Maybe Empress has been studying cults, covens. And it was in Empress's purpose to take them down and bring justice. Because this Empress outranks them spiritually. Three of Wands, the Four of Swords. There's also people buried at farms. Buried at farms who they've done this to before. This is where this death wedding comes in. Linking to a farm who could have got married recently. Yeah. And there's loads of deaths linking to this farm where they buried people at a farm. Like their exes who dared to leave them, or yeah, like the exes who dared to leave them, even children, okay, in order to satisfy their false fallen god, the devil, grandchildren, okay, buried at a farm. So I'm going to leave that there, yeah. They're going to get found guilty. They're going to end up in prison. Okay. Here's an undercover investigator gathering evidence on all these couples. Okay. All these lovers. All these family members. Everyone, they're lovers. They're lovers, lovers. They're lovers, lovers, lovers. Because these friends wanted to keep it a secret. But nothing stays hidden. Because they've persistently done the same thing with this cult leader. Who's lacking? Who's lacking? Who dreams of having these gifts and skills. So they made deals with devils to bring the spirit of death. But, well, it didn't go as planned. Oh, it didn't go as planned. I'll tell you why. Because the devil doesn't even like him. The devil doesn't even like him. So now they're feeling weighed down, maybe with back problems, because the devil is on their back, riding hell out their back. So is the demons riding hell out of their backs. Because all they wanted was this Empress's cup for themselves. That's just sheer greed. These enemies. Because they're spiritually poor. They come for this Empress's love. They've come for this Empress's work. They've come for this Empress's destiny. Okay. There's an overwhelming amount of evidence that this Empress is speaking the truth. But they wanted to be seen as like a King of Pentacles. With their own land. Okay. Their own followers. Their own lovers. Could have also claimed to be a high priestess or a high priest, but they're a fake, they're a fraud. Yeah, was never born with these skills. Just romanticised and fantasised about being a high priest, a high priestess, and having these skills, look. Oh, but he'd never had them. He never had the strength either. To gain power and control over his own demons. For a start, so he's going to be led to rest. He just wanted to expand in his own world. Wanted to be seen as a King of Swords. Two of Pentacles, but he's very, very mentally unstable. They're all very mentally unstable because they're a set of psychopaths, okay? They're very mental, oriental, okay? The third eye is blocked, okay? They have no third eye. Them All their lovers have no fair eye. False prophets, claiming to false prophets, fake readers. They still want this Empress's Cup there. They're wondering what's in this Empress's Cup so they can transfer it to them because they're mental oriental. Honestly. Wow. Trying to block people seeing that they've got overseas accounts. Or trying to block these type of messages getting out there because they want to be able to go across seas or transfer some money to overseas accounts. Because his family is going to get found guilty. That's long. Very long, but they're all going to get found guilty. Five of Cups, they're all going to lose everything they stole. And even while they stole everything, they continue to attack and defend each other. Because of this Empress's stability, perseverance. But this, like, could be head of, like, Freemasons. He should have just walked away from this chosen one. He should have just walked away from this chosen one. But they still kept attacking these Freemasons. Now they're going to lose everything. Now they're going to get kicked out of the Freemasons. Four of Swords, and they're going to get led down to rest. They're all fighting against each other now, these friends. Partying and celebrating with each other 1 minute, and they're all turning against each other the next. I don't know. I'm going to leave that there. Sending peace, love, and light.